Is this Cowboys defensive line enough? And I was going to kind of keep it with the edge room, and I'll start off there. But honestly, it's the whole room. Is it going to be enough? But allow me to start off with the edge, where I do think this unit has potential to be the best we've seen from at least a pass rush standpoint in quite a long damn time. When you're rolling out a Micah Parsons, a Dante Fowler, Izaraku, if Sam Williams can get mostly all the way back, Sam Williams, and then when you include a pass rusher on the interior like Osa, this has a chance to be one of the better pass rush units, or at least the deepest one we've seen in Cowboys land in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think back to the times when Dan Quinn was here and they had some guys that rotated in and all that stuff, the Dorrances, the Fowlers and stuff. I do think when you talk about the defensive end room, there is depth there that doesn't make you cringe. Because I'll say, even Luigi, how do you say his last name? Is it
I think you might have had that right.
Valayan? Luigi Valayan? I saw him in OTAs. And there were a couple times he popped to me getting off the line of scrimmage, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Obviously, you brought in Peyton Turner as well. I believe that Peyton Turner is gonna be more of a run stopping defensive end in the ways that I was seeing him used. But no, I agree. We're looking for Marshawn Nealon to kind of return to form and see what he can bring from a pass rush perspective. But we know that he's a run stopping defensive end. I think you got some versatility in that defensive end room. And I agree with you, Scott. I think when it's time for them to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback, I think it's gonna be tough on teams, especially with Osa on the interior and the addition of Solomon Thomas, who I think is gonna have a really good year as well here. Yeah, man, I'm not sad about this defensive end room. The D tackle position is always the one, but
Yeah.
I'm not too terrified about what I think these defensive ends are gonna be able to do. Obviously, we need them to stop the run.
Yeah.
But the pass rushing, I think it's gonna be there.
Have you fallen and gotten injured at work? You should probably call a lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $25 billion for their clients.
$25 billion? That's a hell of a lot of money.
If the insurance companies tried to lowball you, Morgan & Morgan is able to take the pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan gonna cost you? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful.
That's right. You don't owe unless you win.
And if you don't know how to hire a lawyer and it sounds too hard, it's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and then in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. You can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Wait, there's more than one because, let me see the script. Oh, last name. Oh, okay, roll it.
You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Skywalker. The link in the description. Let's pick it up both from pass rushing and run stopping. From a pass rush standpoint, I remember last year when Micah went out, just how poor it was to rush the passer. I kept talking about how they lacked juice. They lacked real athletic guys to be able to get after the quarterback when he was out, whether that be for, injury, for games, or just plays. Like, think about, even when he went out for plays, there wasn't that type of juice. Now, just Dante Fowler alone gives you that. Then Izaraku, right? And we talk about Sam Williams, but I can't leave out the other side that you talk about. Stopping this run. No D-laws here, okay? I'm not saying there is a DeMarcus Lawrence on this team in stopping the run. However, from a defensive end standpoint, I look at a guy like Marshawn Nealon, like you said, year 2, his continued development. I think Micah is still continuing to develop as a run stopper. I think he gets way more flack than he needs to be getting as a run defender, especially when you look across the league at elite top tier 2 or 3 pass rushers in the damn league.
Around for real.
Right. And then a very underrated name you brought here that I think will do some moonlighting at defensive end in early downs, Solomon Thomas. I think Solomon Thomas will see some early down snaps at defense end to help with that with the run. You're not saying he's a big time run defender, but the
Hmm.
size aspect, right? Strong side defensive end to help stop the run. You can see him out there. It's more of a question mark than the pass rushing standpoint because there is no D Law. But and then you brought up Peyton Turner. I don't know if he'll
Hmm.
make the team, but they have the bodies, and maybe Sam Williams can also be a guy there. We just have to get out there and see it. And that's honestly for me, pass rush, training camp wise, I think they're going to do great. The run defense, I do want to see if these guys step up on that side of the ball for that aspect at defensive end.
The thing about it is, I can't believe how long this has been a problem, bro. Like how long the inability to stop the run has been going on. I mean, and even I'll say on a consistent basis.
I was about to say that on a
Because
consistent
there's
basis. Yeah.
times, because there's times we've seen this team adamantly stop the run, but you're just looking for guys that want to do it, like that want to do it. And I do believe, and I'm gonna say this when I when I was doing the draft show, and even so, I talked to a couple scouts, Senior Bowl, all that stuff. Defensive end is becoming a this or that position. It just is because teams prioritize speed rushers. I remember asking a scout for the Cowboys, what is one position that you think teams are willing to go all out for? And he said speed rushers.
Mm.
And a lot of speed rushers are lighting the ass. They just are. So it takes time for a guy to develop, which I think Donovan Izaraku will continue to work that because his hands are good. I just think he still needs to work some of the technical things with sinking his hips and all that stuff with stopping the run. But incredible pass rusher, toolbox, all those things. And I'm
Smart.
sure I'm sure players are prioritizing pass rush ability because they understand that is what pays. And it's weird because I feel like DeMarcus Lawrence was kind of I'm not sure. I know he liked the title of being a run stopping defensive end, but he didn't want to be considered someone that could not rush the passer too. So it's like a give or take thing. So I say all that to say that I expect that Eberflus is going to field the guys that want to stop the run. And then, I mean, for pass rush situations, I think we're just going to have multiple different packages because it's hard to ask. We are talking about asking this team to not do to. We're talking about coaches not asking guys to do things they're not good at.
Mm.
I don't want you just be trying to beat a dead horse and trying to make somebody stop the run and they suck at it or they don't understand it. I want a guy out there that understands it and wants to do it. Who do you think that is? What
I,
guys do you think want to stop the run?
I think they
And then-
all. So it's tough in how you worded it. I don't think any defender is out there not trying to stop the run. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you got to take a particular.
But
It's
I do think each guy has a particular set of skills that
Mm.
you should lean into. And a guy like Dante Fowler to me is not a guy I'm rolling out there on 1st and 10. Unless obviously it's a new series or something like that, or 2nd and 3. Like he is clearly not a run defender in that sense. Like not any point in his career. He is a
Yeah,
pass rusher guy.
yeah,
Rocco's a rookie. He's going to be, I think, a DPR, designated pass rusher to start off. I do think he has the IQ to develop his run defense. The better, obviously he gets, the more he plays. But he's probably going to be another DPR type of guy. But you mentioned something to
mhm,
me that I agree with. I think it is a good mix. I think with Nealon, I think I do think that Solomon Thomas is going to moonlight out there. So you got him. I don't know if Peyton Turner is going to make this team, but Sam Williams has the size. I think he'll have the mentality to want to do it too. I think there's a mix of, like you said, either or. And I think Micah is going to continue to develop a more balanced approach in the game. I thought he actually showed improvement in
I agree.
stopping the run last year and being disciplined, containing the edge, and doing his job to the point where he was frustrated that safeties weren't filling the alley and the linebackers weren't filling the gaps. I think he'll continue to improve. So it could potentially be a give or take with some of these guys, but I think it's a good mix right now. It's a matter of going out there and proving it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think even with Micah getting some help from the interior, I think the amount of attention he gets does make it difficult for him as well. So it's gonna be one of those things where it's like guys are gonna have to step up. But I do think that Micah has a good feel for the run. It's just sometimes he be having 2, 3 bodies getting thrown
Yeah,
thrown at him. And you,
I tell you this about the run. It's not a one person thing. And I
oh
think
no,
in Cowboys Nation, we tend to do that. And I've been guilty of that with defensive tackle and things like that. But I do understand that it takes the entire defense, and not just
yeah,
from a talent standpoint, from a mentality standpoint.
mhm.
Because if that was the case, if it all was just about one player, we got one of the better defensive ends against the run for years, DeMarcus Lawrence, and we still don't consistently stop the run. So what does
They
that
just
tell
don't
you?
run over there. They
What's
just don't run over there,
or
or they
they
run over
run it
there.
differently, or what have you. One person is not going to change. Now, one person can be an anchor, and that's usually the interior defender, right? But
Mhm.
it takes the entire unit to stop the run, and I think that usually starts with the coaching implementing that as from a mentality, and then the players taking on that responsibility on the field. It all has to work together. To I.
Yeah, you got to take the responsibility, and I'm really I hope there's an understanding, and I think there is that that's the priority. Like I think they probably know what we know is that you got one of the best pass rushers in the game. You just signed back your three tech, who's one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in the game, three techs rather. And then you bring in a Donovan Izaraku, you bring back a Dante Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guys are, I would venture to say that they're aware of the fact that they are going to be able to rush the passer at a high clip. How do you get there? How do you set yourself up for that?
Got to
And
earn it.
that's obviously stopping the run
Yep.
is earning that ability to do that. So yeah, man. Like you said, it's a collective effort. I'm not mad at this defensive end room though. Like I'm
No.
not mad right now. I'm not mad at it. I think that it is a good group of guys, but I want to see how they handle getting hit in the mouth, man.